You are now tuned in to Heat Check with Ty Slatter and Antonio Turner, right here on GTA Sports Network. Follow GTA Sports Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, GTA Sports. And don't forget GTASportsNet.com for all things in the world of sports.
It's like, I know it's early for the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
I'm open to answer questions. I'm open to answer any questions.
I know. I'm saying it's early in NBA. I was about to say, do you see anybody though that probably going to win the title this year?
Man, it's so hard right now. I mean, I think any person who, understands a lot of the game. I mean, Milwaukee is always somebody that, you just look at and you're like, okay, they're always going to have a chance. It's so early. Things happen. But I mean, safe bet, Milwaukee Warriors. I mean, it's just a safe bet,
I mean, maybe, but now you being
because it's not even Thanksgiving yet.
There's so many teams that we could have threw in that mix. You got Memphis, Dallas. You're throwing a lot of teams out and saying they're not going to get there. I don't know.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm using the safest bet. Here's the thing. I'll be more sure of some of those teams later on throughout the year because I think it's a wide open year. I don't think any team is like from what I've seen from the first 5 to 6 games this season. I don't foresee a team that's like, oh man. Like I think the Bucks have played pretty well because they've had a hard schedule and they played well. But I don't think any team is like head and shoulders above anybody. So those would be my 2 picks to be in the finals right now. Could change. It could easily change. And, that's just how the NBA is. But I think if you guys would have asked me Christmas or even Thanksgiving, like if you guys gave me till Thanksgiving, I'll have a little bit more information.
We'll follow up in the holiday season for that one.
I mean, it's hard because like I know how much of the game of basketball is all about adjustments, how things flow. And sometimes early in the season, sometimes some of the teams that get off to really good starts, they start to falter when other teams start making adjustments. Yeah, not necessarily even flame out. Other teams make adjustments because everyone's still figuring out lineups. People is obviously injuries. People are still figuring out what if their top player is going through a shooting slump. Like there's a lot of different things that people are playing through right now. So it's hard. Once you add in some adjustments and stuff, you'll be able to see.
Now, for those who don't know, Aaron Gordon has a podcast, right? So my question to you is, as a podcaster, I know that's something you still want to pursue. We talked about that in our last visit. So since you have a schedule now, or at least you got somewhat of an idea of the games that you're about to play.
Yeah.
Do you have a game plan of how you're going to do your podcast and kind of like on a Draymond Green where he able to do his podcast either post game or once a week, or do you kind of have a schedule or strategy for that yet?
I've thought about how I was going to do it. Obviously, the G League schedule is a lot different than NBA because the G League schedule is the season is much shorter. Like obviously, like we haven't started yet, and the NBA season's already by the time we start, the NBA season is going to be 15 games in, and by the time we end, the NBA is still going to have like 20 more games, 30 more games, but we still have 47 games in that period. So our games are really compact. Like we play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. Like, so for me, I think the best thing that I would do, I have thought about it, is kind of just the first month or so, just focus directly on basketball. Not necessarily give up the podcast. I'll still think about it a little bit, but kind of just focusing on, getting started. And then probably around December, I'll probably start dial in and picking some good days where I have some good days off just to shoot the breeze with somebody and talk about, what's going on with them. So I think December I'll start really having a better gist of how I want to do it. Give me a month in of just how I can, do that stuff, how I can do it traveling. I may try to do maybe one in November, just, on the road, but that's what I kind of plan on doing.
Okay. All right. Well, since we are talking about a little bit of NBA, we do have a Laker fan over here. This guy over here.
Hey, why you gotta bring that up? Why you gotta bring that up? I don't.
Hey.
So I know now from our last episode, for those who didn't get a chance to tune in, Aaron made a disclaimer. He can't give us any information about trade talks. Right?
Absolutely not.
For obvious reasons.
We'll do it for him.
Right. How we can do that. Yeah, we can.
Exactly.
But I do have to ask you, because your brother's name is still running around the mill. Still. Even like as of this week, I'm seeing his name come up in numerous reports, right?
Yeah.
Because the Lakers need shooting. Just like we talked about during Summer League. It hasn't changed. They still need shooting from the perimeter. I'm sure you watched a couple games and you've been, flipping through the channels a little bit in between, handling your business with the Vipers. But the Lakers are 0-4. Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Now I don't know now based on how fast we get this done, this may not be out in time, but they are playing the Timberwolves Friday night. Okay. You saw what happened in the Denver Nugget game on Wednesday, or you may have caught highlights of it. I know I watched it.
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, you watched it? Oh, this is great.
I watch all NBA games. I watch as many NBA games as I can.
Y'all heard that, scouts. Y'all heard that, right? He watches the games. He's learning.
Yeah,
he's learning. So that being said, you watched the game. I want to get, because I already got Tone's take. We already chopped this game down for his perspective. It's painful. Now I got to do it again. So I want Aaron Gordon's perspective. What did you see? Pros, cons. What's wrong with the Lakers based on Aaron Gordon's perspective?
I mean, it's a weird situation with the Lakers, and I felt like the Lakers have always been when they got Russell Westbrook, I think that their expectations went extremely, extremely high.
They did.
But I don't think that their problems are necessarily who they have or even their scheme. I just think that they haven't played enough together to really gel. Like, a lot of people forget that. Like, if you really look at it, this is the first time that LeBron, Russell,
Anthony Davis
and AD are really able to really play with each other, and they're playing. Obviously the Lakers, they're going to get a lot of people's best games. So right now, I do think that they do have to shoot better. They're not shooting the ball great. There's no denying that. But I think that the number one thing that they can do, and I'm putting on my players hat here. I think that one thing that they can do is do some more dribble pitch action to get guys going downhill. Because whenever you get guys going downhill, like LeBron, like Russ, what you're going to do is you're going to collapse the defense, and then you're going to get more open shots, more open threes, but you're going to get them more in rhythm. Now they're kind of isoing up, and then whenever you don't have a natural shooter and guys in your isoing, you're dribbling, and guys are backing up, naturally, that's a harder shot versus if someone's driving in and kicking out, and that's what's happening. I mean, you're literally seeing in real time. I mean, there's a lot of times where Westbrook or Beverly or LeBron is literally they're dribbling up court, and their man is standing like way behind the 3-point line, and sometimes that's definitely tough mentally. Versus if you're running some sort of dribble pitch action where you're driving in and you're getting kickouts. Now you're getting some rhythm threes. Now you're getting like just spot shots. They're able to do that a little bit more. I think that they'll be a lot better. And I don't think it's necessarily personnel. I think that they just have to get into those actions quicker. I think that they have to make sure that they're a little bit more proactive, using their athletic ability to their advantage versus trying to play that game with teams. They're kind of, baiting themselves into playing that game with teams.
This man has a future as a coach. I love the way he broke that down. That was beautiful. No, all jokes aside, I know I'm smiling, but I'm serious. Like, that was beautiful. Because we have somebody here that knows the game, can speak the language, right? Understand that this team, from what I watched the first 3 or 4 games that I got a chance to watch, and I wish I hadn't, it was basically a team that wanted to shoot threes and try to go 3 for 3, but didn't have the personnel to do that.
When I was at Valpo last year, I know you watched us at Valpo last year. Earlier on in the year, we ended up shooting the ball better throughout the year, but when you saw us play, we weren't shooting the ball great, and a lot of that was due to not getting a lot of driving kicks, not getting a lot of offensive rebounds in the threes. We were getting a lot of our shots off of maybe a pitch ahead 3, transition threes. Like, those are hard shots. I mean, it's hard to shoot over 40% or 40%, when you're, having them be on the move and you're, not necessarily getting good paint touches into out threes. Well, the funniest thing is, like, when you look at an NBA player, when you see them in a gym just shooting, like, along with a trainer, and they're passing them the ball, like most NBA players, they knock shots down, but a lot of times it's in rhythm and it's from inside to out. It's probably not them, running up court and shooting threes. So that's one thing that I think the Lakers can definitely get better with. And I think a lot of NBA teams can, that when that aren't shooting well, that's, the key.